Agenda 21-2030 in full flight. People think this past week has just been about bushfires, but it's been about so much more. These bushfires are destined to be used as a catalyst to change the face of Australia. First of all, it's very suspicious that so many fires broke out at the same time, stretching fire services to the limit to try to contain them. There were over 80 fires burning at one stage. Secondly, scarcely a month ago, Premier of New South Wales Gladys Berejiklian announced a 75% cut to funding for fire services in New South Wales, which ensured that when the fires broke out there wouldn't be the resources to deal with them adequately. Thousands of residents were told not to expect help from the RFS and were left to fend for themselves. Thirdly, the fire chief announced at a press conference that we've burnt more than 1 million hectares so far this season. Was that a Freudian slip or a guilty conscience that couldn't help revealing the real truth? I'll let you decide. Later, we were told that the fires would go on for months. How can anyone predict how long bushfires will continue unless you are the one orchestrating them? And finally, because of the sheer ferocity and devastation, we are now being told that we must rethink how we live, with a push to get people off the land. Enter the Clara Company, Consolidated Land and Rail Australia, which made a proposal to government in 2017 for a high-speed rail train line from Melbourne to Brisbane, including at least 3 smart cities to be built along with it. Interestingly, many of the fires along the east coast correspond to the proposed route for the high-speed rail line, and part of the Clara proposal includes setting aside land for this development which cannot be used for anything else. This means that out of the misery and loss of these fires, the government and the Clara Company already know, in my opinion, that the land is actually being cleared by fire to make way for the rail line. For those who don't know, one of the basic aims of Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030 is to remove people from the land and herd them into smart cities, connected by high-speed rail. No doubt those who have lost property to fires along the proposed rail route will not be allowed to rebuild on their own land, but will be encouraged instead to rebuild within the areas designated for the new smart cities. The fire phenomenon we are now witnessing will also be used to promote the climate change hoax and could result in a raft of new laws to restrict people's use of the land, as well as the introduction of carbon taxes on almost every human activity, in the pretense of saving the environment. All it will really do is make the rich richer and send ordinary Australians deeper into poverty. Are you awake yet, Australia?